victim and threatened her by pointing a firearm at her head. She was able to flee the scene. When the police responded, they caught up with her a little ways down the street from the residence. She advised the police that the assailant, who was later identified as Shawn Adams, was in possession of 2 firearms, that he was argumentative, that he was assaulting her prior to the police arrival, including pointing the firearm at her head and threatening her. The officers responded to the scene and created a perimeter around the residence. The assailant continued to be argumentative and refused to adhere to the police officers' directions to come outside with his hands up. Eventually, the assailant did exit the residence with a firearm in his hand, but quickly returned inside to the safety of the residence, away from the officers. As the officers continued to try to get the assailant to come outside with his hands up, he exited the residence again, appearing to comply with the officers' commands, but suddenly dropped his hands, turned away from the officers, and reached for his waist. It was at that time that one of Wilkes-Barre's officers discharged his weapon. He struck Mr. Adams in the arm, and unfortunately Mr. Adams was able to retreat inside again. As the police continued to surround the residence, they observed Mr. Adams in an upstairs window, now with a larger firearm. They continued to call for him to exit the residence with his hands in the air. A third time, Adams exits the residence, and he attempts for the third time to retreat inside. Fortunately, another Wilkes-Barre City police officer was able to deploy his taser, debilitating Adams and allowing them to take him into custody. Adams was transported to a local hospital for evaluation and treatment. Turn it over to Chief Boyle to talk about the investigation from that point forward.
Good afternoon. This is another example of Wilkes-Barre City Police Department's working conjunctively with Luzerne County District Attorney's Office and what can be done with that grouping. The City of Wilkes-Barre responded to 20 East Beatty Street in the city for a violent domestic involving firearms. Upon arrival, there's the chaos ensued. The police observed a subject with a firearm. We surrounded the location. At some point, he brandished the firearm. Shots were fired. The defendant was down. He did not comply even after having been shot. A taser was utilized. He was then placed into custody, and the detective division processed the scene. I can't stress enough, this is an example of the excellence of the City of Wilkes-Barre Police Department, again in conjunction with Luzerne County District Attorney's Office. We worked seamlessly with one another in the past, and we'll continue to do so moving further. Back to Sam.
So Wilkes-Barre City Police are continuing to investigate the incident involving the domestic. Luzerne County detectives were called out last night prior to midnight and began to investigate the shooting to determine whether or not it's justified. Sorry, guys. So when detectives responded, they were assisted by Wilkes-Barre in the sense that we were able to obtain a search warrant to search the scene for the firearms in question. Magisterial District Judge Joshua Moses reviewed the search warrant and granted a nighttime search warrant for us to search the residence. Firearms were indeed recovered. The defendant was arraigned this morning by Magisterial District Judge Thomas Malloy. Judge Malloy actually denied bail on the basis that this defendant is too dangerous and represents potential harm to the public. During the course of the detective's investigation, we have determined that Mr. Adams had previously been arrested, convicted, and sentenced for criminal homicide in the city of Wilkes-Barre. It was a stabbing incident in 1996. He was subsequently released after having served his sentence for third-degree murder. And again, he's currently incarcerated because bail was denied. That's part of our argument as to why he's a danger to the public. He is currently facing 2 counts of aggravated assault and related charges, which clearly include a felon not to possess a firearm. His previous sentence involved a sentence of 9 to 20 years in state prison, and he will now stand to face these charges. A preliminary hearing has not been scheduled. To the extent that I can answer questions, I'm happy to try to do so.
Any officers on leave while that investigation is ongoing?
Yes, the officer who discharged his firearm pursuant to standard Wilkes-Barre police practice. He's been placed on administrative leave pending the Luzerne County Detective's investigation.
Were any officers injured in this incident?
Thankfully, no.
What is the status of the arrested individual, health-wise?
He's stable.
He's been released, I guess, if he was arraigned, right?
I believe he was actually arraigned in prison, but I don't know that 100% of it. I'm sorry, excuse me, arraigned in the hospital.
He was shot in the arm, you said? Correct.
Did Mr. Adams discharge any rounds, Sam, Chief?
I'm sorry, could you repeat?
Did Mr. Adams discharge any rounds?
No.
What is his first name?
Shawn, S-H-A-W-N.
And I know the investigation is still ongoing, but obviously high tension situations for those officers. Could you just speak to maybe some of their decision making, being able to take him in via taser, without having to fire any more rounds?
Well, it is still under investigation, but I have to say that that's a credit to their training, their experience, and their decision-making, that, you know, you're in a situation, a very dangerous situation where someone had been assaulted, a firearm had already been discharged. As you know from other cases in Luzerne County, many times when a firearm is discharged, that results in additional firearms being discharged, because it's not always clear that it's the police that fire the first shot, and the bad guy fires the first shot. So in this case, it's really a testament to Wilkes-Barre's officers to be able to take him in by taser after shots having been fired and save his life.
What illegal items or firearms were seized last night, if any?
I can't speak to that right now because the receipt for the search warrant has not been returned to the judge yet.
Was the victim in the domestic, was she injured at all?
She did not seek medical attention, and when the police got her, she was not severely injured.
Sam, Chief, can you say how Mr. Adams obtained these firearms? Or can you say if they were stolen or if he...
That's still under investigation, and I'll probably be able to release more information about that in the days to come.
Previous homicide before my time, can you say anything about what case that was, who was the victim?
Yes, the victim was Jesse Gibson. It was a stabbing at the now closed Airy Lounge, which was in the city of Wilkes-Barre. It was closed actually as a nuisance bar after that incident. And that case was before my time.
Airy Lounge?
A-I-R-Y. Thanks, guys.